Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I'm your host, Brian Scott. And today we get to return to Quo, and it's always a wonderful day to read the words of Quo. If you haven't heard, Quo is a group of higher level beings that are channeled through a group called LL Research. They answer questions of a spiritual nature that relate to a variety of topics. We have covered many of these different channelings that have occurred over the course of 50 years with LL Research. LL Research has channeled a number of entities, but primarily at this point channels a group called Quo, which is a sort of conglomeration of different groups of higher entities. These questions and answers really resonate with me deeply, and for many others. Today's channeling is related to the channeling we recently did called Quo Coming Home to a New Earth. This was a channeling given the previous day at the same event. And so by its nature, there's a lot of different questions from the audience, and they cover a variety of topics, including imparting love to one's patients, significance of vegetarianism, glass walls, relating to darker or lower vibrations, waking up from unconsciousness, healing on the basis of positive energy, exit points, aging and dying, reincarnating versus ascension, the retrospective on the incarnation, Earth's uniqueness, unseen support, what continues beyond death, soul groups, service toward those who sleep. We begin with Jim channeling. I am Quo, and am with this instrument at this time. We greet each of you in the love and in the light of the one infinite creator of whom we are all a part. And we are honored to be called to your group today to speak in some fashion of this basic reality. We would ask that you take what we have to say with, shall we say, a grain of salt, using your own discrimination to determine whether what we have to offer is worthwhile to you in your own spiritual path. If it is not, leave whatever is not valuable aside, so that we do not present any stumbling block to you. If you will do this, then we can speak more freely, knowing that you have your own discernment by which to gauge those thoughts and words that we share with you today. At this time, we would ask if there is a query with which we may begin. Question. Quo, was it too strong a statement for me to tell my patients that they are loved more than they could possibly know? I am Quo, and I am aware of your query, my brother. We do not feel that such a statement is too strong. When you say that they are indeed more than they could ever know, for it is a very basic nature of the reality that we all share with each other, then we can ever begin to know. It is that which is infinite, that which has no beginning and has no end. There is so much more to every person than anyone can imagine. It is truly in the area of imagination, for the intellectual ability to express what we feel we are falls far short in being able to do so. Thus, the imagination is the only place where there is any possibility of realizing the true nature of one's being. Also, we might suggest that whatever you say to any one of your patients is that which they can also accept or reject. Just as any person at any time, any seeker of truth may determine what it feels is the most important message or character or nature of any experience or thought or deed that they may have. The third density illusion that we all inhabit together is one which has the veil of forgetting in it, so that we do not know the truth of our being. We cannot see beyond that veil. It is that which makes it possible for us to imagine or think of anything that could be true. That is the great journey of a seeker of truth within the third density, to determine for itself, from its own experiences, from its own studying, from its intuition, from that which it feels is true. And then the journey is begun in a conscious fashion. Is there a follow-up query, my brother? I am Quo. We thank you. Is there another query at this time? Yes. I would like to ask how important it is to be a vegetarian on a service to others' path. I've been told that you're supposed to have some meat for your diet to stay healthy. How important is it to be a vegetarian? And that's a healthy way to go about doing that if it's important. I am Quo, and I'm aware of your query, my brother. Once again, this is a topic for personal discrimination. It is that which must realize that there is life in every form of food, of any quality or entity or substance, for all is made of the one infinite creator. each entity must make the decision for itself as to what level of intelligence one is of necessity eating or experiencing in its diet. For the intelligence of the Creator makes itself apparent in every level of that quality of food that one might put within your own physical body. The vegetarian system of choosing not to eat meat, but to eat vegetables instead, is one which draws the line at the plants, so that there is less of the higher, shall we say, forms of life that are consumed. This is a choice which has an effect upon the spiritual journey if one values the experience of consuming only the lower forms of life and not consuming that which is higher. However, there are oftentimes needs of certain body complexes as you have your body to concern yourself with. There is the at times lower levels of vital energy, of physical energy that may be enhanced by the consuming of the meat, as you would call it. There are oftentimes the necessity to move away from such consumption when the vitality of the body has been revitalized, and at that time a different decision may be made. The spiritual journey is that which asks each of us to become aware of how we feel about our own bodies, our needs, for they are also a different type of animal that we, shall we say, ride through the physical illusion so that it may be more effective in our life pattern of seeking and serving others. Therefore, we would suggest that you use the process of meditation upon the question of whether or not to consume the products of the animal flesh instead of not consuming them. Let your own personal guide of intuition be that which guides your actions in the qualities of the foods and the nature of their consumption. Is there a further query, my brother? No. I am Quo, and we thank you for your query. Is there another query at this time? Question: yes. What are the glass walls that I've been hearing about for reality if we are in a current shift right now? And which it seems we're always in a shift, but do you have any information on the glass walls? I am Quo, and I'm aware of your query, my sister. This is a type of philosophical question which needs the ability to imagine that different levels of vibration are able to be perceived when the seeker has within itself the ability to penetrate that which as a spiritual principle was previously opaque, shall we say, when there is enough of the realization of the nature of one's own reality as being of the Creator at various levels of experience likened to the octave of notes. Then there are increasingly more visible perceptions available to the seeker, so that a wider range of view may be experienced, what you may call the overview that increases in its range and depth of perception as one is able to open the inner eye, the heart, to a greater reality. This is a perception that can go on infinitely as one moves through the various densities of this octave of creation. Is there a further query, my sister? Question: so what you see on the other side that's still going on, we don't change the world, we change our own perspective, is what you're saying? I am Quo, and I'm aware of your query, my sister. Yes, that is basically the message that we are attempting to share. For this perception that one has is that which can be expanded according to one's own progress upon the spiritual path. Thus, as you open yourself to greater and greater awareness, there is more that is available to you. As you call for more understanding, shall we say, more is given to understand. Is there a further query, my sister? No, thank you. I am Quo, and we thank you, my sister. Is there another query at this time? Yes, I have a question. How do we look at things that are of a lower vibration or darker or hurtful without validating it? Or is the act of looking at it a form of making it real and energizing it? How to look at these things without condemning or judging? I am Quo, and am aware of your query, my brother. We find that this query has relationship to the previous query, and that one's view of that which is dark or perhaps hurtful is one which sees only a portion of the nature of the reality of that which is being viewed. For at a certain level of experience, any quality, entity, or thought may be seen at its lower level, and may also be seen at a higher level, depending upon the nature of one's ability to perceive that which goes beyond what is obvious to the eye, but not so obvious to the heart, shall we say. For there is only one that is a portion of the Creator. That one is the Creator. All entities are the Creator. All facets of the Creator appear in an infinite realm of beingness that is experienced within your third density illusion as certain distortions of that one infinite Creator that has made all that there is in order that it might know itself better through the experience of each portion of itself that moves through the illusion of your third density. Is there a further query, my brother? Yes. So is that to say that all is in divine order, even if the mind sometimes says that it seems otherwise? I am Quo, and am aware of your query, my brother. This is indeed the message that we wish to pursue and to share with you. For the way that perception is used is a function of one's ability to see the nature of the Creator as it is expressed itself in every facet of creation, without the lower, the middle, the higher range of vibrations that can be perceived within the intuition, within the heart, within the spirit. There would not be the perception of the true nature of reality. Is there a further query, my brother? Not at this time, thank you. I am Quo, and we thank you, my brother. Is there another query at this time? Yes, Quo. Would you help me to understand what my experience or what my experience could be from moving out of the third density illusion into the fourth density and on to the fifth density? And I have also heard that it may be possible to even skip fourth density and go straight to the fifth density. And if you could help me to understand that, I would appreciate it. Thank you. I am Quo, and am aware of your query, my sister. As you move out of the physical vehicle and begin to walk the steps of light into the higher realms of your own third density, there is the possibility, if you are one of those who have come from elsewhere, to be of service to the entities of planet Earth and to help them move into greater and greater levels of personal awareness. Then you may be able to return to that density from whence you came. The fourth density of love, the fifth density of wisdom, and the sixth density of the balance of love and wisdom are the sources of these wanderers, who are members of what you would call the brothers and sisters of sorrow, who have come to planet Earth to help raise the vibrations of the planet. For the graduation into the fourth density is at hand, and the planet itself has moved into that realm of vibration. And the various population members of the planet are scattered throughout the spectrum and have not been able to, shall we say, point the needle of the compass into one direction of service to others or service to self, but yet dwell within the sinkhole of indifference. These wanderers have made an agreement, shall we say, to come here and to help those entities who have not been able to utilize their own desire to seek more and more of the Creator within themselves. That desire still remaining within the subconscious mind, the conscious mind being unaware of this nature. Thus, the wanderer has come to aid in the evolution of each of the entities upon planet Earth, and may, when it is completed, his mission, shall we say, move back to the home density. Is there another query, my sister? I don't think so, thank you. I am Quo, and we thank you, my sister. Is there another query at this time? Yes, Quo, I often in life feel like I'm asleep or just unaware of things. How do I wake up? How do I notice the things that I need to in life? How do I be more aware? I am Quo, and I'm aware of your query, my sister. The waking up is the great work of the third density experience, for within this density, as we have mentioned before, the veil of forgetting causes one to be unaware from time to time of the possibilities of the present moment. The present moment is that which is infinite in nature, in which, if utilized in a mindful quality, is what may be opened up as a gift, a package, a present that reveals more to you of what you are experiencing in that moment. There is within each moment an infinite variety of possibilities that one may see. Each moment has a message. That message may be long or short, clear or opaque. And when one becomes more focused through the intentions of the mind and the support of the open heart, mindful of the experience that is being held within the heart, the eyes, and the mind, then one may see a gradual increase in information that is available to help you on your spiritual journey. Basically, setting the intention to see more than one sees at the present time is the way to expand the vision and to look into that moment to determine what it is teaching you at that moment. Is there a further query, my sister? So basically, the intention is the important thing, and it's not like you would miss out on a lesson because every moment contains a lesson. I am Quo, and I'm aware of your query, my sister. This is basically what we have attempted to share with you. Each moment has a lesson to those who have open eyes, open ears, and open hearts, and the intention to learn. Is there a further query, my sister? No, thank you very much. I am Quo, and we thank you, my sister. Is there another query at this time? Question. My sense is that we are all just pure energy, just pure love in the form of waves. that with my cancer patients and others with disease, that by these individuals sending continuous positive energy to their body 24/7, augmented by continuous positive energy of others, and blocking out all negative energy coming in, that any cancer or disease will heal. Is that correct? Or is it 80% that? And maybe 20% physical even? Can you 100% of the time just through physical energy heal any situation? I am Quo, and I'm aware of your query, my brother. The experience of attempting to heal any disease, including that which you call the cancer, is an experience that may be enhanced by the sending of the love vibration, the light vibration, into that entity that has the disease. The vibration itself then begins to move into deeper levels of the entity's being, where there is a connection with the one infinite creator that resides within each entity. And at that level of experience of the creator, through the light vibration enhancing the knowing, the sensing, and the perceiving, will then allow this entity to realize that at that level of its being, in what you may call the time, space, or metaphysical realm, is that which is healed, that which is whole, that which is perfect. And then this realization begins to move into the conscious mind, so that the body and the mind and the spirit working together then can achieve that which you call the healing of the disease, in this particular case, the cancer. Is there a further query, my brother? Question. So that in and of itself may not always be enough, but at the times where you have to correct, to eliminate toxins, or have to cure a vitamin D deficiency, or in addition to that, or can just that positive energy in and of itself take care of things? I am Quo, and I'm aware of your query, my brother. Yes, this is the basic quality of healing, that which is the positive vibration that is taken to the deepest level of the being of the entity. However, there may be used other types of healing. As you mentioned, there are symbols that can cause the mind to reflect the type of healing that is desired, and which is achieved when the vibration is sent into the deepest level of the entity's beingness, so that the connection with the one creator is made. And that path then is in vibration with the healing nature that is desired for the disease. Is there a further query, my brother? Thank you, I appreciate it. I am Quo. Thank you, my brother. Is there another query at this time? Yes, please. Do you mind going into explaining exit points, what your thoughts are on exit points for us? I am Quo, and I'm aware of your query, my sister. We would ask if you could give a basic definition of the exit point, for this instrument is unaware and we are not able to define them for him. Question. It is said that we come here to learn lessons, but we have picked out on our pathway the people that are going to help us. The exit is, there are different times when you can exit the earth. You have them kind of scheduled out, and then you can choose, like if the cancer is going to take you out, or you pass it up, or do something else down the line. Is that correct? Do you know? I am Quo, and I am aware of your query, my sister. We thank you for the clarification. The exit points for each entity have been created before the incarnation as potential places or times that the incarnation may be completed. If there has been the learning of a sufficient amount of the lessons that were planned before the incarnation, many times, however, as the potential exit point is approached, the subconscious mind in connection with the higher self looks at the progress of the seeker, and there is the opportunity to continue movement forward within the incarnation in order that the exit point be expanded to allow more learning in that area of experience that was pre-incarnatively chosen. This type of an exit point is flexible, shall we say, and may occur earlier or later than the previous plan was made before the incarnation. It is that which is the choice for a moment for the entity that is made by both its subconscious mind and the higher self. Is there a further query, my sister? No, thank you. I am Quo. We thank you, my sister. Is there another query at this time? Question. I have a really basic, silly question. Why do we grow old and die? Why don't we just stay like 25 or whatever and just, take our exit point when the time comes? That's it. I am Quo, and am aware of your query, my brother. The choice of the older age, the process of the body being less and less functional, is a means by which the consciousness of the entity may become aware that there is the time during which the exit point, shall we say, is near. If the body was able to remain in a state of functionality that would equate with youth for many, many hundreds of your years, there would not be the opportunity for planning of greater and more expansive lessons to be learned within the third density illusion. and that type of learning then would be restricted. The dropping of the body and moving into the realm between incarnation allows the choice to be made during that time to look at what has been learned within the previous incarnation and to plan that which accelerates the spiritual path within the next incarnation. Thus, the aging of the body and the moving into that level of consciousness, which sees the need to drop the body and move forward in the spiritual journey, is most helpful to accomplish the evolution of the spirit. Is there a further query, my brother? Question. Just one more quick one. I read the book which the Law of One recommended, and I read that it was channeled work from the 1800s. Side note, the footnote says that they don't actually recommend any books, and I believe that they're referring to Owaspe. The question goes on to say, and they said that your goal should not be to reincarnate forever on Earth and the corporeal reality, but that you should try to ascend to like the ethereal heavens. So should we be wanting to reincarnate, or should we just keep trying to ascend to a more subtle atmosphere? I am quote, and I'm aware of your query, my brother. It is the path of the seeker of truth, the conscious seeker of truth, to attempt within each incarnation to move forward upon the spiritual path that allows the being to open the heart in unconditional love in a manner which exceeds the 51% level of graduation, shall we say, into the fourth density of love and understanding. Thus, if this can be done within one incarnation, then it is possible to move forward without further incarnations being necessary. However, as each seeker of truth is unique, it cannot be predicted by any source as to how many incarnations will be necessary to make this journey into the heart and to open it in unconditional love in the majority of the time of interaction with others. Thus, it cannot be predicted how many incarnations would be necessary. Is there a further query, my brother? That's a perfect answer, thank you. I am Quo, and we thank you, my brother. Is there another query at this time? Quo, those who pass on lament the loss of their opportunity to experience the physical. Do they wish they still were able to experience some of the physical pleasures? Do we need to really treasure each moment of this physical experience? Do you ever wish you could go back, aware, so you could treasure each moment? I am Quo, and am aware of your query, my brother. Many of those who move out of the body in the third density illusion and make what you would call the graduation into the fourth density of love and understanding feel a great affinity for the physical experience that they had within the third density, for it was that which allowed them to travel a path into the unknown qualities of themselves and the illusion of third density itself. The third density is one of great suffering, and the suffering has been able to allow people to discover that the suffering is that which allows the processing of what you call catalyst, or those difficult times, to see beyond the surface of the suffering, that there was food for growth within the suffering that allow progress to be made upon the spiritual journey. So in a paradoxical manner, entities who move beyond the third density may feel a fondness or affinity, as you say, for that experience, for it allowed them to get another step along the path of the journey of seeking the one infinite creator. The journey which is that which seems endless, and yet at some point through millions of years of experience within the various densities of this octave of creation, will allow that reunification with the one creator to occur. Thus, as entities look back upon any experience, especially the third density, where the veil of forgetting causes the view of all things that are holy and spiritual and inspiring to be restricted, that presents the fondness, the recollection of how that great experience, the great work of opening the heart, was able to be accomplished. And that is something that one may always look back upon with a smile in the heart and a smile upon the face of the spirit of the Creator. Is there a further query, my brother? Thank you, Quo. Appreciate that. We thank you, my brother. Is there another query at this time? Question, Quo, is Earth relatively unique in the universe in its duality and our loss of memory of connection to the Creator? Is the rest of the universe paying particular attention to us, cheering us on in our reawakening? I am Quo, and am aware of your query, my brother. There are entities and essences throughout one infinite creation that look upon any third density planet with a great deal of love and affection and appreciation of the work that is done in third density. For it is the great work of choosing either the path of service to others or service to self. That great choice, that is the axis upon which the rest of the creation turns. And there are many, many within the one infinite creation, many like cells of the body, of the one infinite Creator that cheer you on and clap with joy in their hearts when you are able to make that choice within the difficult realms of the veil of forgetting of third density. Is there a further query, my brother? Thank you. I'd like to use the analogy of we're on a giant jumbotron and giant stadium bigger than we can imagine, full of angels, and they jump up and down every time we do an act of kindness. So that's an analogy I like to use with patience. I'm Ko, and we appreciate your analogy, my brother. We feel it is quite apt, for there is a connection throughout all the creation with all the rest of the creation, and that connection with the third density is one which is precious to all. Is there a further query, my brother? Thank you, Ko. I am Ko, and we thank you, brother. Is there another query at this time? Question? I have a question about when we leave our physical bodies. Is there a part of our identity that continues? Or do we, as they say, just the wave comes back part of the ocean? I guess it is a question of what part of me is on the journey through the densities, and can I identify that part of me that will continue while I am still physically embodied versus the programs that have been instilled in me during this lifetime and the beliefs, that is all. I am Quo and am aware of your query, my brother. As you move through the various densities of creation, you become more and more that which you may see as the one infinite Creator. This is a gradual process that begins within the third density, so that you are able to join together with others of like mind and open heart in unconditional love to all about you, and see all as the Creator. Then you begin to form a group consciousness, what those of Ra had called a social memory complex. That group consciousness contains every experience that you have ever had, that you have learned from, and those that join you of like mind in the social memory complex add their experiences to yours, so that there is a great library of experience that contains you and all others that are a part of the social memory complex. This social memory complex then continues its movement throughout the octave of densities, retaining the experiences of all previous densities, so that you may see that as you move forward through the densities, all of the qualities of you are there that were in the third, the fourth, the fifth, sixth, and eventually the seventh, moving into the octave where all become one with the Creator again. So you are existing at all times and places at every moment of your experience as you move through the octave of densities. Is there a further query, my brother? Not at this time, thank you. I am Quo, and we thank you, my brother. Is there another query at this time? I understand that we are a part of soul groups as we go through our physical reincarnations. After we ascend into a non-physical fourth, fifth, sixth density, do we retain the soul groups, or are those dispersed at that point? I am Quo, and am aware of your query, my brother. There are indeed soul groups, or spiritual families, that within the third density reincarnate as such in order to aid each within the family to become more conscious of the process of evolution of the mind, the body, and the spirit. These are entities of like mind, which are able to aid each other by taking different incarnations with different purposes and relationships, so that each may learn the lessons that are pre-incarnatively chosen. Thus, the advancement into the higher realms of being is possible for the soul family. And as the soul family or group moves forward into the higher densities, there is the joining of various soul groups that have a similar vibratory complex, you might say, so that there is an expansion of the soul group to become larger and more effective in aiding the evolution, until there is the joining, as we have said previously, into the total unity of the one infinite Creator. This type of soul group, or in the higher densities, the social memory complex, is a way of those of like mind who together help each other seek the one Creator. And this seeking then is that which produces a larger and larger family, until the one infinite Creator is fully realized within each entity of the soul family. Is there a further query, my brother? Quo, you do a great job with your answers. Thank you so much. I am Quo, and we thank you, my brother. Is there another query at this time? Question. Well, for those who are in this 3D illusion who have forgotten to seek God, and for those of us who are in service to God, can you give any practical 3D assistance to how we help them? Or is it even necessary for us to help them? Is love just letting them be who they are? I am Quo, and I am aware of your query, my sister. This is a very interesting question, for it covers the area of the experience of one's open heart being shared in a fashion which is both loving the other who wishes to serve by helping them discover the nature of the Creator of God, and yet allowing them to exercise their free will, which is their means by which they will eventually make the recognition of the nature of God. The only question is a question of time. The infinite creation is made of the one infinite creator or God which exists within each entity, whether they realize it or not. However, upon the level of the subconscious mind, that creator is within each and has a means by which to make itself apparent at some point, so that the entity becomes what you would call the conscious seeker of truth. What you may do in aiding this process is to shine your light in a manner which gives the feeling, the love, the inspiration to another, so that perhaps they may ask what it is that gives you this great light that shines that I feel. In that questioning, then, you may go further with your own philosophy of how you feel the presence of the creator of God within your being. Thus, giving love and the feeling of God to another while allowing them to exercise their own free will in their questioning of the light they are apparently feeling within your being. Is there another query, my sister? That's perfect, thank you. I am Quo, and we thank you, my sister. Is there another query at this time? I am Quo. It appears that we have exhausted the queries for this session of seeking. And we would thank each of you here for each query, for we ourselves are able to progress in our own spiritual journey by being of service to you. So your service to us is the queries that have inspired our responses. And we are grateful to have partaken in this dance of expression, this experience of the oneness of the Creator that exists within each present in this room and all entities everywhere. We are most appreciative of the vibrations of the circle of seeking. We feel that it is most inspiring to us how you are able to move in love and harmony through the third density illusion of seeming separation and find your way back to the essence that is within you and all, the one infinite Creator. At this time, we shall take our leave of this group, leaving each in the love and the light of the one infinite Creator. We are known to you as those of Quo. Adonai, Basu, Boragas. So wow, this is an interesting channeling because we have lots of different people asking questions. So the nature of the questions are a little bit different. There's some things that come to mind as I listen to the answers that are available in these questions. When they say we need to be a 51% of unconditional service, how does that work? It's a question I want to ask Quo, and I'm thinking about putting together a question. For instance, you are not able to serve others while you're a baby. You're not able to serve others maybe until you're 15 or 12 years old. What age it is, who knows? Maybe you're completely asleep and you're not able to really serve others. You're growing and educating yourself until you're 20. By that point, maybe you have 5%, or say 1% that you've served others. Say you then decide that you want to serve others 51% of the time. Well, in order for you to do that, you need to serve others 100% of the time for 20 years in order to just get to 50%. So I'm not getting the math of this, of how to reach 51%. I can easily reach 51% right now in this moment that my heart is opened and I am awakened. But does that mean I need to go back and look at all the times I wasn't serving others? Am I able to even reach 51% at this time? If I go 100% of the time serving others, would I even reach 51% if I didn't really serve others for the first 20, 25 years of my life? There's also an interesting answer to the question of what happens in the afterlife, and in particular, our identity. Neville Goddard tells us that our identity always is particularized and never changes even after we die. But here you get the idea that it sort of meshes into a group consciousness. I don't remember it being referred to as such in past channelings. In this particular one, it would seem to indicate as you move forward in the densities, you eventually just become a part of a group consciousness. I know that there are questions that have been asked about this, but I would love to know, are you an individual body with your own identity within this group consciousness, or is the group consciousness the only entity and it has its own body? That is something that is not entirely clear for me. When we ultimately reincarnate in 6th or 7th density, is it just the social memory complex? Who knows? I think that they've tried to answer this and it's something I want to have further information upon. But there's lots of really interesting answers here about healing, about dying, and why we have bodies that age and how that helps us on our spiritual path, the Earth's uniqueness, the unseen support around us, soul groups, which I know that many feel that we're all a part of a soul group, in particular with the Reality Revolution. Sometimes I get that feeling that we've known each other for a long time. Some people have said that as well. And what happens to those soul groups as we evolve? Lots of stuff to ponder on. I'd love to get an idea from you of what your favorite part was. And if you were to have a question for Quo, write it down in the comments. In any case, you can find all episodes of The Reality Revolution at therealityrevolution.com. And welcome to The Reality Revolution.